Hey everybody, I wanted to show what you can do with some bonus materials that we're providing for you just as an extra thing. If you go to infinitypbr.com, click to log in, just go ahead and log in. Once you're logged in, you'll see this page, and if you put in your invoice number from the email receipt from the human package, you can register the package, and as soon as you do that, instantly you'll have access to downloads. So like the rock monster here has these 9 downloads available. They're Unity packages that you can use, and a couple of them I want to show to you right now what you can do with them. So I've pre-made an export of these stocking materials and creature scales materials, and we're also going to do the whole thing with maybe 1 or 2 other materials. So let's go ahead and just start and show some of the power of it first. So let's start with the stockings. She's got these trousers on. This will work for the male, of course, as well. You can go into the procedural materials, procedural materials for the Barbarian up here, and find the trousers. Select that. Now, we have all these options here. There we go. We're going to go down to these custom trousers, right here, and this is where we're going to put our input nodes. So these stocking maps I've exported already. We're bringing our albedo, our normal, metallic roughness, our ambient. I'll talk about how to get these maps a little bit later when we do the zombie skin. And then we're going to go up to our main here and click Enable Texture Modification. The ground dirt, ceiling dirt, and all those have their own enable toggle. Turn them on if you want it on, otherwise keep it off and it'll speed up the processing. But anything for the specifics to the clothing, in this case there's only the trousers, and if you want that to have an effect, like we can change the hue, or I'll just change the saturation. We'll do the lightness, that's much easier to see. There we go. With that turned off, you won't get any effects. So we're going to keep that on, we'll turn that back. I'm going to click this button that says Use Custom Texture. And that means it will drag the texture from this up to that model. So that's pretty much what we got here. Now we do have a problem where, I mean, whether you like it or not, there's a fishnet with holes, but we still have the texture from the pants in there. And so what we can do with that is, first we want to check our invert custom normal. In most cases we'll want that inverted. You kind of, there's not much of a difference in this one, but in most cases you want that inverted. If you click this mask AO normal, then it'll mask out the texture from the pants, and you'll get a much more skin tight look for the tights. You got all these ruffles there otherwise, so you want to keep that masked out. And if you want to, you can also adjust the material offset depending on where the holes end up to fit for your look. So we have these other folds and the boots on. Let's turn those off so we can see what it looks like with just the trousers. There we go. So clearly it's not something you want to use by itself because there is still the actual mesh from the trousers. But if you include the boots and something along the waist, so you could add the skirt and maybe the gladiator belt on top, and there you go. Now you've got character, and there's him over there with his tights on. The character with a brand new pair of pants. So when you're ready to export that as a alternate stocking, then you simply go to your procedural materials, click the trousers, up here, export. And we're going to export the demo textures, exported textures. We'll call this stockings. And then you can drag those in and create a new standard material, standard shader material with those maps, and you're all good to go. So let's now change the entire skin of the character. So first, let me reset these. So I want to change the entire skin of the body, so I'm going to turn all the options off, all the clothing off. And I've already exported a creature scales. So first I'm going to select my procedural material. We're going to go for the female body. And again, going down to the bottom here, we have custom inputs for the skin, for the nipples, and for the nails. Now, this creature scale is going to replace everything, so we're going to bring those over into all three spots. Once that's set, you can close those if you'd like. Go back up to your main section and click Enable Texture Modification. And for each one of these, we want to use custom texture and invert the normal. So you can see the inversion here. So basically, it's going to look a lot nicer once it's inverted. And that's generally how you can tell if something needs to be inverted. Obviously, we need to do the same for the nipples and the nails. Now we still want definition here. I'm going to make sure our height map is all the way down. If the height map's up, you want to bring that down. We'd still want definition for the nails and the nipples. So for the nails here, let's just desaturate these and maybe bring up the lightness a little bit. There we go. Now we have nails still. And for the nipples, we'll just bring, how about the lightness down just a little bit. There we go. So it's not much of a difference. Alright, and I've also set these, this is from my testing earlier, these are defaulted to just set to be 1, and so that's the scale. Oops, I'll show you on the body. So this is the scale that was the default, right there. I wanted the scales to be smaller in scale, so I doubled them. If you want to rotate, you could rotate and skew the material as well using the Y and Z on that transformation. So there you go. I like that. Now we also need to do it with the head because of course our character has a head. So first I'm going to export these so I save my... Alright, now I'm going to go to my procedural materials for the head. I'm going to do the same thing. We have a few more options here. We have our skin, lips, tongue, gums, and teeth. We're going to do the skin and the lips. We'll ignore the rest, but we'll definitely want those too. So we're going to do the same as before, bring our maps into these custom areas. Go back to the top, turn on texture modification, and for the skin and lips, we're going to use custom texture and invert that texture. Now, the head has a different resolution than the body in its texture map, so we're going to need to scale the texture up a little bit. And to do that, to make it bigger, we need to X and W here to be less than 1. So let's just try 0.8. I actually haven't done this before, so I'm just guessing at this point. That actually looks about right. The neck doesn't. If we want the neck to be bigger so that it blends a little bit better, it's going to be nearly impossible to get a completely seamless blend. Okay, that's better, so we'll do that. Now, at some point these do combine, so if we really wanted to, we could spend some time and do our offsets to try to figure out where exactly those two meet. And it actually looks like it might meet right here and here. So I'm just going to bring this down a little bit more. That actually looks really good. Alright, so that's a pretty good, there you can see the seam a little bit, but I think we found where the texture actually meets. Alright, so let me save these now. We'll take this, what is this called? The spalder right here, and we're going to change this texture on the top right and left shoulders. So one of the materials you can find for download if you go to the register is this leather material. So let's just check it out real quick. There we go. And if we want to visualize what it might look like, you've got to understand it loses all the ambient occlusion and whatnot, but it kind of looks like that. We might scale it down a little bit, but it's a little bit more of a rough leather. So go into our leather. If we want to make any changes, now is a good time. We could do simple hue saturation, add some dirt and damage if we want. We can do more modifications later as well. But I think what we're going to do is just start with the leather color, maybe make it a dark plum purple. There we go, kind of muted. It all looks good to me, so we'll just leave it there. I don't think I want to add any more damage or anything like that to this, so I'm just going to export the bitmaps using the gear icon at the top. So one thing I'm going to do is delete the emissive and the height. I don't need those for this project, and I'm also going to change these to PNG so that they take up less size on the disk. So then I'm going to bring that back up into Unity. Now in this I've got my four maps. Now earlier I mentioned the normal map. You want to definitely keep it as a texture for this process, because we're going to go into our spalder just like before. Simply drag the albedo, normal, metallic, and ambient occlusion into these sections that you want to use. Go back to the top, make sure enable texture modification is selected, and you want to use custom texture and invert those textures as well. In this case, we definitely want to keep our base texture on. Again, see this little warping here going on? That's from the height map. So make sure the height map, if you have one here, is down. There we go. So I want to differentiate this top from the bottom one. So I'm going to go to the shoulders, which is the bottom one, and we're going to change this color. Now I also think that this is way too big, so I'm going to go on my custom transformation, set that to 2. That'll lower the size in half. I think that's slightly better. And I'm going to do the same to the top shoulder. I want that to be the same size. And now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to actually add some damaging here. Now you can have the ground dirt, ceiling dirt, all these damage, fabric wearing, leather wearing, metal weathering are all somewhat similar. We're going to go to leather weathering and enable that. Alright, so now we have a spalder that has this purplish tone to it. It's got some damage, so our character is ready to be put in a game where they're already damaged and coming from a not new armor standpoint. So to save that, you're just going to go up here, export the bitmaps. When you're ready, import the textures into your scene, or into your project rather. We're going to create a new, for each one of these, we're going to create a new material, standard shader material. And I'm going to name it appropriately, so this is going to be female body creature scales, and populate the maps here. And you're going to want to click the Fix Now button for the normal map. And when you're ready with that, just drag it over onto your model. And we'll do the same with the rest. Now let's check out the demo scene. Alright, so we have our creature scales and our old looking spalder there. We can change the scene lighting to more of a sunset look. And if we do one of the casts, we'll see some light going on them. So this creature scale is metallic, so there's a lot more reflection on it. There we go. So one thing we can do, if we can zoom in and see the eyes and the hair better on the female here, we can change the eye color. These are just some presets for the demo, but you can change it to really any color you want. So let's find one that more exotic looking. I like this bright one. And then we can also change the hair color. Again, these are presets for the demo. You can change it to any color, and these are multiple tone colors. So just find one that I kind of think goes good with this creature. There's a green one maybe. And you can also change the hairstyle for the female. Whichever one works best for you. Maybe the short one. And we'll use that pink look for her. It's changing it for the guy too in the demo, but we'll just deal with that. And of course you can still change the face, but we didn't put the material on those faces, so we'll keep it on the default face there. And let's just check out some of the animations. There we go. So there's a whole lot you can do with these. Obviously, the bare basic is just adjusting the clothing to change its colors around, to add damage and dirt and other things like that. It starts out so clean. But you can go beyond that and change the skin to be creature scales. We've got zombie skin, other types of damaged skin. Of course, we also have the ability to change the skin tone completely. There's a whole bunch of presets that we've created just for the demo, but you can change it to any color you want using hue, saturation, lightness, um, sliders, so you can make them look like they're from Avatar or whatnot. If you have any questions, connect with me on the forums, and I hope you enjoy the package. Thanks.